Story number 1. Echoes from the Void. In 2011, I was a spry 70-year-old grandmother, long retired from a career that had taken me to the stars, albeit from the confines of a space agency control room. My grandchildren, with their wide, inquisitive eyes, often begged for stories from my past. One evening, as we gathered around the fireplace, I decided to share a tale that still haunts me: the mystery of the vanishing satellite. I had been part of a team tracking satellites and space debris, a job that often bordered on the mundane. But in the summer of that year, something extraordinary happened. A satellite, which I'll call Kronos, suddenly vanished from our tracking systems. No warnings, no gradual signal weakening. It just disappeared into the cosmic abyss. For weeks, we tried to re-establish contact, but it was as if Kronos had ceased to exist. Then, just as suddenly as it had vanished, Kronos reappeared on our screens. But it was different. The data it transmitted was unlike anything we had seen before. It was erratic, almost nonsensical, but within that chaos, there were patterns that seemed eerily deliberate. The young engineers, brilliant minds like Ethan and Lily, both in their late 20s, were tasked with decoding the data. What they found was deeply unsettling. There were sequences that resembled distress signals, and others that appeared to be coordinates to an uncharted area in space. But it was the final set of data that sent chills down our spines. It was a series of images, blurred and indistinct, yet unmistakably depicting shadowy figures in the satellite's camera feed. It was as if something, or someone, had been aboard Kronos during its disappearance. The higher-ups dismissed it as a technical anomaly, but we knew better. There was something unworldly about those images, something that defied logical explanation. The investigation was quietly shelved, and Kronos was decommissioned, its secrets buried in the depths of classified archives. As I recounted this story to my grandchildren, their eyes wide with a mix of fear and fascination, I couldn't help but wonder about the true nature of Kronos' journey. What had it encountered in the vast, unexplored void of space? The answers, it seemed, were destined to remain beyond our reach, echoing through the cosmos as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. The tale of the vanishing satellite remains one of my most unsettling memories, a story that blurs the line between science and the supernatural, leaving us to ponder what else might be lurking in the darkness of space, waiting to be discovered. Story number 2. The Silent Whispers of the Cosmos. As I sat in my cozy living room in 2012, with my grandchildren huddled around me, I began to recount another tale from my days at the space agency. This story, known among my colleagues as the Whispering Stars, still sends shivers down my spine. Back then, I was part of a team that monitored spacewalks. Astronauts venturing outside their spacecraft were a routine part of our job, but something happened that year which defied all explanation. During several spacewalks, our audio equipment started picking up strange whispers. They were soft, unintelligible, and seemed to come from nowhere. Young technicians like Jamie and Marcus, brilliant minds fresh out of college, were baffled. These whispers didn't resemble any known interference patterns. They sounded eerily human, yet they were coming from the vacuum of space, where sound should not exist. The situation took a darker turn when one of our astronauts, Captain Daniel Hayes, reported hearing these whispers during a spacewalk, not through his radio, but inside his helmet. His voice, usually calm and steady, was laced with panic. We immediately commenced emergency protocols to bring him back inside. Once safely aboard the spacecraft, Daniel was visibly shaken. He recounted hearing voices that called out to him, speaking in an unknown language, yet they felt strangely familiar, almost inviting. The incident was enough to halt all spacewalks temporarily. Our team worked tirelessly to find a logical explanation. We analyzed every piece of audio equipment, but the whispers defied all scientific reasoning. They appeared randomly and only when astronauts were alone in the void. The investigation eventually hit a dead end. The official report chalked it up to technical glitches and psychological stress. But those of us who heard the whispers knew there was something more, something unexplainable lurking in the depths of space. Years later, as I shared this story with my grandchildren, their eyes wide with a mixture of fear and curiosity, I couldn't help but wonder about the mysteries of the universe. What were those whispers? A cosmic anomaly? Voices from another world? Or perhaps echoes from a parallel universe? The Whispering Stars remain one of the most mysterious and unexplained incidents from my time at the space agency. It serves as a humbling reminder that despite our advancements, there are still countless mysteries in the cosmos that we are yet to understand, whispers in the dark that continue to elude our grasp. Story number 3. The Unearthly Chorus of Apollo 9. The year was 2013, and as a retired space agency veteran, I found myself often sharing tales of the cosmos with my grandchildren. On a crisp autumn evening, I recounted one such tale that still haunts the corridors of my memory, the story of Apollo 9 and the echoes from the void. Apollo 9 was a routine mission, manned by a crew of skilled astronauts. Among them were young, brilliant minds like Lieutenant Sarah Collins and Engineer Michael Ramirez, both under 30, epitomes of courage and curiosity. Their mission was to conduct a series of experiments in orbit, but what transpired went far beyond the realm of science. It began with a minor anomaly. The crew reported hearing strange, echoing voices during their orbital maneuvers. The voices were faint, an unintelligible symphony of whispers that seemed to come from all around them. Initially dismissed as interference, the phenomenon grew more persistent. One night, as the spacecraft passed the dark side of the moon, the whispers turned into a chorus. Each member of the crew heard it, a haunting melody that resonated through the cabin. It was as if the very fabric of space was speaking to them. Back on Earth, our team at Mission Control worked frantically to find an explanation. We checked and rechecked every piece of communication equipment, but the source of the voices remained a mystery. They were unlike any frequency or signal we had ever encountered. The situation aboard Apollo 9 grew increasingly tense. Sarah reported feeling as if someone was watching her, and Michael spoke of seeing shadows moving just beyond his field of vision. The spacecraft seemed to be enveloped by an unseen, otherworldly presence. As the mission commander prepared for an emergency return to Earth, the voices reached a crescendo, then abruptly stopped. The spacecraft fell silent, and just as quickly as they had begun, the phenomena ceased. Upon their return, each crew member underwent psychological evaluation and debriefing. Their accounts were consistent, but there was no scientific evidence to explain what had happened. The incident was quietly classified, tucked away in the annals of space exploration history. As I shared this story with my wide-eyed grandchildren, the room felt colder, as if the echoes of Apollo 9 had momentarily brushed our world. The tale of the echoing voices in space remains the chilling reminder of the vast, unexplored mysteries of the cosmos, a whisper from the void that continues to elude our understanding. Story number 4. The Silent Watcher of the Cosmos. It was a chilly evening in 2014 when I, a retired grandmother and former employee of a renowned space agency, decided to share a spine-chilling story with my grandchildren, a story that had troubled me for years. This was the tale of the Phantom Astronaut, an encounter that remains one of space exploration's most unnerving mysteries. The incident occurred during a mission I was monitoring, involving a crew of young, intrepid astronauts, including the mission commander, Captain Lisa Grant, and flight engineer, Alex Turner. They were orbiting Earth, conducting various experiments when something extraordinary and terrifying happened. It began with a routine external inspection of the spacecraft. As Alex maneuvered around the craft, tethered securely to it, he reported a bizarre sighting, a figure in a spacesuit, floating in the vacuum of space, seemingly watching the spacecraft. This figure didn't belong to our mission, nor any other known mission at that time. At Mission Control, we were baffled and concerned. Every registered astronaut was accounted for, and there were no scheduled spacewalks from other missions at that time. Our screen showed Alex, alone, with no sign of this mysterious figure he described. His voice, usually composed, was laced with a mix of curiosity and fear. Captain Grant, viewing from the spacecraft's window, confirmed the sighting. The figure was humanoid, clad in an unmarked white spacesuit, and just hovered there in the void, its visor opaque, masking its face. We initiated a thorough check of all systems and external cameras, searching for any evidence of this phantom astronaut. Meanwhile, the figure remained stationary, a silent watcher in the cosmos, just outside the spacecraft. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure vanished. One moment it was there, and the next, it was gone, as if it had never been. The crew searched the surrounding space, but it was as if the figure had evaporated into the dark expanse. Upon their return to Earth, the crew was debriefed extensively. Psychological evaluations were conducted, and the spacecraft was examined for any clues. But nothing unusual was found. The incident was filed away, its file marked with more questions than answers. As I narrated this story, my grandchildren sat wide-eyed, hanging on to every word. The tale of the phantom astronaut, a spectral entity silently adrift in space, continues to haunt me. It serves as a reminder of the vast, unexplored depths of space, where mysteries beyond our comprehension linger in the silent darkness, watching, waiting. Story number 5. The Shadow on the Crater. In the fall of 2015, as the golden leaves danced to the ground, I sat on my porch, a retired space agency employee, sharing a haunting tale with my grandchildren. This was the story of the anomaly on the moon, a chilling account from my years monitoring lunar missions. The incident began during a routine analysis of high-resolution lunar images captured by a new satellite. The team, including young and bright analysts like Jenna and Mark, were startled to find something that defied explanation, a structure, distinctly artificial in appearance, located at the edge of a moon crater. The structure, which resembled a monolithic shadow against the lunar surface, was unlike anything we had encountered in our previous explorations of the moon. It stood tall and solitary, its purpose and origin a complete mystery. The images were clear, leaving no doubt about its presence. The discovery sent ripples of excitement and unease through Mission Control. Plans were rapidly drawn up for a closer investigation. However, before a probe could be launched, the anomaly vanished. Subsequent images of the same location showed nothing but the familiar lunar landscape. This sudden disappearance puzzled our team. We scoured through every pixel of the images, searching for clues or explanations. Yet, the structure, which had been so clearly visible, was nowhere to be found. The investigation took a darker turn when one of our team members, a young engineer named Kyle, claimed to have intercepted a signal originating from the moon's coordinates. The signal, he described, was a series of low, rhythmic pulses that defied our attempts at decryption. But Kyle's discovery was quickly dismissed by the higher-ups, who were already wary of the frenzy surrounding the anomaly. The official stance was that the structure was a trick of light and shadows, an illusion on the barren lunar surface. However, those of us who saw the images knew the truth. The structure had been real, its presence unexplainable, its disappearance even more so. The event was quietly buried in the confidential archives of the space agency, spoken of only in hushed tones. As I shared this story with my grandchildren, their eyes wide with wonder and fear, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The anomaly on the moon remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of my career, a reminder of the countless secrets that our universe holds, hidden in the shadows of the known and the unknown. Story number 6. The unfathomable transmission. The year was 2016, a time still vivid in my memories. As a retired space agency employee, I often shared my experiences with my grandchildren, who were fascinated by the mysteries of the cosmos. One story that always seemed to captivate and terrify them was that of the signal from the depths of space, a mission that uncovered something beyond our comprehension. The mission involved the deep space probe Voyager X, designed to venture far beyond our solar system. The team, including young and brilliant minds like Laura and James, was tasked with analyzing data transmitted by the probe. What they discovered one fateful day was beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. Voyager X, then millions of miles away in the depths of space, began transmitting a signal so complex and irregular that it defied all our known patterns of communication. The signal consisted of a series of pulses and frequencies that seemed to carry a hidden message. The team at Mission Control worked tirelessly to decode the signal. Days turned into weeks, with Laura and James leading the analysis. The more they delved into the signal, the more they realized it was unlike anything we had ever encountered, a message that seemed to be both alive and intelligent. As the investigation into the signal deepened, strange occurrences began to happen at the facility. Equipment malfunctioned inexplicably, important data files vanished without a trace, and team members reported feeling watched, sensing a presence that wasn't there. The climax of these events occurred one night when the signal abruptly changed its pattern. It transformed into a series of haunting, harmonious tones that resonated throughout Mission Control. Some described it as a melody, others as a cry from the depths of the universe. In the days that followed, the signal ceased, and Voyager X went offline, its last transmission being those eerie, celestial tones. Despite our best efforts, we never managed to restore contact with the probe. The signal remained undeciphered, its origins and purpose a mystery. As I recounted this story, my grandchildren clung to every word, a mix of fear and awe in their eyes. The signal from the depths of space remains a haunting enigma from my career, a chilling reminder that there are phenomena in the universe beyond our understanding, sending messages that we may not yet be ready to receive. Story number 7. The Enigma of Time aboard Orion 4. In the autumn of 2017, as the leaves turned golden and fell, I sat with my grandchildren, recounting a tale from my days at the space agency, a story that still sends a shiver down my spine. This was the tale of the lost hours, experienced by the crew of Orion 4, a mission that defied the laws of time and space. Orion 4 was a routine space mission with a young and vibrant crew, including the skilled pilot Captain Emily Jensen and the brilliant engineer Michael Lee. Their mission was to conduct experiments in Earth's orbit, a mission like any other, until the inexplicable occurred. It began subtly. The crew reported minor malfunctions with their onboard clocks, but it was when we at Mission Control lost communication with Orion 4 for several hours that concern turned to alarm. For the crew, however, those missing hours felt like mere minutes. When communication was re-established, the crew was bewildered by our concern. According to them, only a few minutes had passed since our last contact. But for us, it had been 4 long hours filled with growing panic and fear. The investigation into this anomaly was immediate and thorough. We analyzed every system and piece of equipment, but everything was functioning perfectly. The onboard cameras and recordings corroborated the crew's experience, no sign of the lost hours. As we delved deeper, unexplainable occurrences began to manifest. Crew members reported seeing fleeting shadows in the corners of the spacecraft and hearing whispers in the static of their communication devices. The atmosphere aboard Orion 4 grew tense, charged with an unspoken fear. The most chilling event occurred just before their return. Captain Jensen reported a momentary lapse in reality, as if the stars outside had blinked out of existence, replaced by an all-encompassing darkness that defied description. It lasted only a second, but for her, it felt like an eternity. Upon their return, the crew underwent extensive medical and psychological evaluations. No anomalies were found, and no explanation for the lost hours could be determined. The incident was quietly filed away, marked as an unexplained phenomenon. As I shared this story, my grandchildren listened in rapt attention, a mix of fear and fascination in their eyes. The lost hours aboard Orion 4 remains an unsolved mystery, a reminder of the vast unknowns that lie beyond our understanding, hidden in the fabric of space and time. Story number 8. The Phantom of Cosmos. The autumn of 2018 was when I shared with my grandchildren the story from my career at the space agency, one that I had locked away in the depths of my memory. This was the story of the shadow in the stars, a harrowing tale that unnerved even the most seasoned astronauts. It began with the mission of Voyager 6, a deep space exploration craft. Its crew included young and daring individuals like Commander Sarah Nichols and Engineer David Cooper. Their mission was to chart unknown regions of our galaxy, a routine operation until the inexplicable started happening. The crew first reported it as a trick of light, a fleeting shadow that seemed to dance just outside the spacecraft's windows. Visible only from the corner of the eye, it vanished whenever someone tried to look at it directly. Initially, it was dismissed as a visual anomaly caused by the spacecraft's movement or perhaps a psychological effect of prolonged space travel. But as the mission progressed, the shadow grew more persistent. It seemed to follow the spacecraft, a silent, unexplained presence in the vast emptiness of space. The crew's reports grew more anxious. The shadow was no longer just a visual disturbance, but had become an ominous specter haunting their journey. Back on Earth, at Mission Control, we analyzed and reanalyzed the spacecraft's video feeds and data, searching for any logical explanation. But the shadow eluded all detection by our instruments. It existed only in the crew's peripheral vision, an enigma defying all understanding. The situation took a darker turn when crew members started reporting sleep disturbances and heightened feelings of paranoia. Sarah described a chilling experience where she felt a cold, unseen hand brush against her during a routine check of the spacecraft's systems. The climax of these strange events occurred just before Voyager VI's return journey to Earth. For a brief moment, every camera and sensor on the spacecraft blacked out simultaneously. When the systems came back online, the crew was visibly shaken, reporting that they had heard a chorus of whispers echoing through the spacecraft, voices speaking in an unknown language. Upon Voyager VI's return, the crew underwent extensive psychological evaluation and debriefing. The spacecraft itself was subjected to thorough examinations, but no evidence to explain the occurrences was found. The phenomenon of the shadow in the stars remained an unsolved mystery. As I concluded the story, my grandchildren sat in silent awe, a mixture of fear and wonder in their eyes. The tale of the shadow in the stars remains the chilling reminder of the unknown mysteries that lie beyond the fringes of our understanding, lurking in the silent darkness of the cosmos. Story number 9. Echoes from the Crimson Terrain. As the autumn leaves of 2019 rustled outside, I sat in my armchair, surrounded by my curious grandchildren, ready to recount another tale from my days at the space agency. This time, it was about the eerie occurrences during a Mars mission, a story I referred to as the Red Planet's Whispers. The mission was groundbreaking, sending a young and ambitious crew to Mars to conduct research and exploration. Among them were the mission commander, Laura Henderson, and the lead scientist, Ethan Wright, both in their early 30s and at the pinnacle of their careers. The journey to Mars was uneventful, but things changed once they landed on the desolate, red terrain of the planet. Almost immediately, the crew reported hearing strange sounds, whispers that seemed to emanate from the Martian surface itself. These whispers were intermittent and unclear, but unmistakably human-like in tone. At first, the team at Mission Control assumed it to be interference from the spacecraft's communication systems. However, when the sounds persisted even during radio silence, a chilling realization dawned upon us. These whispers were coming from Mars itself. The crew began experiencing heightened anxiety and sleep disturbances. Laura reported hearing her name being called out in the dead of the Martian night. Ethan, a man of science, struggled to rationalize the disembodied voices that seemed to speak in a language that was neither human nor recognizable. As part of the investigation, advanced audio analysis was conducted on the recordings sent back. The results were inconclusive, only adding to the mystery. The sounds were unlike any natural phenomenon ever recorded on Mars or Earth. The most unsettling event occurred during a routine geological survey. Laura and Ethan ventured out in the rover, and as they delved deeper into a Martian canyon, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Suddenly, all communication with them was lost for several agonizing hours. When contact was re-established, both astronauts were disoriented, with no memory of the lost hours. The onboard cameras had gone dark during this time, leaving us with no clue as to what transpired in that canyon. Upon their return to Earth, the crew underwent extensive psychological evaluation. No rational explanation was found for their experiences, and the haunting whispers of Mars remained an unresolved enigma. As my grandchildren listened, their eyes wide with a mixture of fear and intrigue, the story of the Red Planet's whispers served as a stark reminder of our limited understanding of the universe. It remains a chilling account of unexplained phenomena, echoing across the cosmos, a testament to the mysteries that lie in wait on distant worlds. Story number 10. The Ghost Trajectory. In the winter of 2020, as the nights grew longer, I found myself sharing another eerie tale from my days at the space agency with my grandchildren. This story, known amongst my former colleagues as the Unexplained Orbit, involved a satellite, Delta 7, which mysteriously altered its course in space, a puzzle that defied all our scientific understanding. Delta 7 was an Earth observation satellite, and its sudden, inexplicable change in orbit baffled everyone at the agency. The young team of analysts, including the brilliant Jessica Hall and the astute Tom Evans, both in their late 20s, worked tirelessly to understand this anomaly. There were no commands issued that could have altered its trajectory, and no external forces, like meteor showers or space debris, were detected. Yet, Delta 7 had shifted to an orbit that was not only irregular but seemingly impossible according to the laws of physics. As the investigation deepened, strange occurrences began to unfold within the facility. Computers analyzing Delta 7's data would crash inexplicably, and files containing crucial information vanished without a trace. It was as if something didn't want us to uncover the truth behind the satellite's behavior. One night, during an intensive data analysis session, Jessica reported hearing a faint, static-filled voice through her headphones, uttering indistinct words in a rhythmic pattern. This incident was quickly followed by a chilling discovery by Tom. Images captured by Delta 7 before its orbital shift depicted a vague, shadow-like anomaly, barely visible against the backdrop of space. The most unsettling event occurred when the satellite's camera feed, which had been inactive since the orbit change, suddenly came to life during a routine check. For a brief moment, it displayed an image of a distorted, humanoid figure floating in the vacuum of space before the feed went dead permanently. This incident sent shockwaves through the agency. Theories ranged from unknown gravitational anomalies to the more far-fetched notion of extraterrestrial interference. However, no concrete explanation could be reached. Delta 7 eventually ceased functioning, its last transmission being the eerie image that haunted the dreams of those who saw it. The satellite was declared a lost mission, and its file was marked classified, buried in the depths of the agency's archives. As I concluded my tale, my grandchildren sat in stunned silence, a mix of fear and awe in their eyes. The unexplained orbit of Delta 7 remains one of the most mysterious and unexplained incidents of my career, a testament to the enigmatic and often terrifying nature of the cosmos.